The views and opinions expressed in this video are solely those of the Fat Bearded Vinyl Guy and should not be taken seriously by sane people.
What's up, Vinyl Nation? It is Matt, the Fat Bearded Vinyl Guy, back in the vinyl lair with another World's Worst record review. First off, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and share these videos with whomever you can. If you like it, that is. If you don't, well, still do it if you don't like it. Catch me on my Facebook page if you want me to send me a hat to promote your organization or sports team or whatever. I'll also give you a shout out. I'll drop a link in the description. Today I am fulfilling a challenge of sorts. Aaron Martell of the Ridiculous Rock Record Review podcast gave me a challenge to review the latest album by Def Leppard called Diamond Star Halos. He had a listening party for his Patreon subscribers recently and I was unable to take part, but I was mentioned several times. He may not have officially challenged me to give my thoughts on this album, but I'm taking it as such. I wanted to do it anyway, I'm just using it as an excuse. Now, before I start, I want to say that there are 15 tracks across 4 sides on this beast. So I am going to go rapid fire and not spending too much time on each track, so this video doesn't last an hour, much like the album. So let's take a deep breath, and let's begin. The intro to Take What You Want reminds me of the start of Pyromania, the intro to Rock Rock Till You Drop. It builds into a heavy rocker that almost sounds like the main riff is played in a drop D tuning. Def Leppard is famous for their vocal harmonies, and this track delivers the goods. It is a nice, heavy start, and it gives me high hopes for the rest of the album. Kick was the first single released, and I get a real T-Rex Electric Warrior vibe with this song. Our hero compares his woman to a drug that he just can't kick the habit, because nothing impresses a woman more than comparing her to illicit substances. Fire It Up starts with some vocal harmonies over a drum beat that does not sound like it's played by a human being. The verses remind me of Pour Some Sugar on Me, but that song was done much better. In the coda, there's a nice, high, sustained note that I like, but that's about all I got. Alison Krauss makes her first guest appearance on the album on this guitar. There's a nice bluesy guitar intro, and it almost makes me forget that it's over a drum machine beat. The boys are once again trying to cross over to the country side of the charts, but I am not feeling it. This is a total skipper. SOS Emergency has a nice Hysteria era style intro. A lot of the intros on this album are very good. It's just the verses sound a lot alike. They're very cheesy and generic. Going into the coda, there's a bit where the band cuts out and you hear sirens, and that kind of messes me up when I'm listening in the car and I'm going, crap, where's the cop? What is Liquid Dust? Do you mean mud? Or is it a play on Liquid Death? You know, the water. Either way, this song really doesn't do anything for me. It's like a lot of Def Leppard songs from the past decade or so. It's very formulaic, not very interesting, but it does segue into the next song, so it has that going for it. First of all, what is with the spelling? Come on, man, you're not Prince. Get out of here with that garbage. The song may be called You Rock Me, but it certainly does not. It is full of 21st century Def Leppard tropes. Gang sha vocals, hand claps, and the full, dense production. The thing that turns me off the most is the obvious drum machine. Now, I can tolerate sampled drums to a point, but this is just a blatant drum machine, and that it does not do it for me. Oh my god. A Sleepy Joe Elliott ballad to end disc 1. This song puts me to sleep. The best part of this song is Phil Collins' Spanish guitar style solo. Other than that, we found the cure for insomnia. Once again, I like the intro. It's a very Hysteria era sound, but the verses melodically are very basic. The previous album, the self-titled one, was a lot of this as well. If this album was all intros and solos, it'd be really good. Hello, Rick Savage. Now, I've criticized Rick Savage on multiple occasions about his bass playing and the lack of interesting bass parts, but he's got something interesting going on here. He's not just playing root notes. It's more interesting than he usually does. Well, let me just put it that way. Then Joe Elliott starts singing and the verse melody once again sounds bland and recycled. Joe Elliott may have blown his voice out circa 1988 and he just can't hit the notes that he used to. He's singing in the same octave this entire album. If you put together an AI program to compose a Def Leppard song, Gimme a Kiss would be the result. Next. The first lyric of Angels Can't Help You Now describes it perfectly. Another slow news day. It's another Joe Elliott ballad, and every song seems to have the same construction, with the only difference being the speed of the song. Lifeless is the other song on this album featuring Alison Krauss. This is a rare intro on this album that I don't like. I'm sorry, but this is not a Def Leppard song. It's a cookie-cutter country song. Not just that, but it's bro country, complete with drum machine. The chorus reminds me of my time working in country music radio. Another skipper. The penultimate track starts with solo guitar and Joe Elliott's vocals. Then it kicks in with more drum machine. Seriously, Rick Allen does not appear on this album. There are no real drums on this album. And that, my friends, is the issue with Def Leppard. That is why their music has been going downhill since High and Dry. You cannot replicate the feel of a real drum set with a real drummer. The songs on this album are flat. And that is the reason. I'm sorry I had to say it because I like Def Leppard. I really do. But sorry, boys, you need a real drummer, not a machine. After almost an hour, we've reached the last song on the album. This sounds like an ender with a melodramatic chord progression. It's a big, epic sounding ender, and Vivian Campbell turns in a great solo. Unfortunately, the song fades out on Phil Collins' outro solo. Now, I'm not a fan of fading out on a guitar solo to begin with, but fading out on a guitar solo to end an album? My God, that's just criminal. Diamond Star Halos was a product of the pandemic, with each band member working on individual parts and mailing it in. Yeah. The band said they were paying homage to some of the glam rockers that inspired them. Even the title was a nod to T-Rex and the song Bang a Gong. You can hear bits and pieces of that, but overall, I am not impressed. The first track was great. The second track was serviceable, but the rest was unimpressive. And the songs with Alison Krauss could have been just left out. The best way I can describe this album is that it's familiar, but not memorable. The band stated it was one of the easiest albums they made, and to me, that's a big red flag. I mentioned this in my Night in the Ruts video. Great art is born out of adversity. If it's easygoing, that's a problem. That's all I got for now. FatBeardedVinylGuy.com is the website with the links. Follow me on the Facebook. Hit me up if you want me to wear a hat of your organization or sports team or whatever. Until next time, fire it up, take what you want, and I'll catch you on the B-side.